I just didn't want to mess up anything by adding.
So when they join, then there will be okay. This email settings right here. Sorry, that's not it.
Oh, maybe it's, remember where you showed me where it was
Yeah.
for
The
if you
bell
go-
notifications, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry. Of course, I'm still.
Oh, I just was watching all of these on like super speed 5 minutes ago. So I'm like, oh, I know that one. I think I know that one. So yes.
I believe that everybody will get this, new users. And since we're creating essentially their account, there will be a welcome email, like a welcome to Wellness Living.
Mhm.
See, welcome to Wellness Living. We've just recently switched. And then it's going to give them their login credentials. And Sheldon has to give us some more information on the above, but this is the template.
So for people who were already Yoga Reg clients, their first interaction with Wellness Living is probably going to be via this email where they're like, oh yeah, that's right, I heard that they were switching registration system. Here's what I do. This is for people who are already Yoga Reg clients.
Yes.
And we can talk about later those who are when we acquire new clients. Yeah.
Yeah, and new clients will also get an email when they join the system. We will be able to update that message when it goes out. And there's a bunch of also other notifications here. Thank you for your first online booking.
Cindy, we can't hear you. I can see your mouth moving, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, a little bit louder.
You're on mute, that's why we can't hear you.
But before now she's not, and we can't hear her.
Oh,
Oh.
can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little quieter than most of us, yeah.
That's odd. Hello?
It's okay, I can hear you.
Okay, because like, all right. So then my question was, are they required to set a new password, or can they log in with their Yoga Reg password?
No, it will not save their password because Yoga Reg does not save passwords.
Yeah.
So they will have to set a password.
They have to set a password. Okay.
Yes. Right. Which will communicate all of that to folks before that happens.
Right. Yeah. So that'd be great. So they get an email from us before they get this email.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Oh, and I did finish that little profile page, and so now I see more like what you showed, Dominique, when I log in as client view.
Okay.
Okay.
What else? What other questions do we have? I mean, mine is like a big question that we talked about in last week's meeting. So there's a lot of questions that stem from what it will look like on the website. So if they are not our current clients, and I'm running Google Ads, right? I'm just giving you a way to show you an example of how a new person enters our world, right?
Yeah.
So running a Google ad to get people to the birth after cesarean class, right? They are going to, okay, let's say we launch the website January 1st. They arrive at the birth after cesarean page, and they'll see like a new and improved look that has like a Wellness Living integration on the page. And then when they click on it, they'll see the class, but then if they wanted to register for the class, they'd have to create a login, right?
Yes, they have.
Okay, so I think what I think is happening, I think I understand it. If what I just, then it all makes sense, kind of. Yeah, like, okay, so basically I'll restate it again. So I have a link that drives people to our website. They arrive at a certain class page, advanced registration class page. it's going to be our website with a wellness living integration like module built in. And then they're going to be like, oh, I want to register. They click on it. It goes, they travel to the wellness living portal. Like, and then they're like, okay, but in order to register, you have to create a login for wellness living. Okay.
Sure.
That's what I thought it might be. Yeah.
That is exactly what will happen. Yes. So
Okay.
it's the same as what they're doing now with Yoga Reg. When the first time a client comes, if they're looking for a class and they're not in our system, when they click on the link to register, then yes, they have to go through the system. And right now it points to Yoga Reg. And when we finish switching over, it will point to Wellness Living. So I just wanted to, I can put this schedule in so you guys can have a little bit of an idea.
Oh, cool. So you're able to now import the wellness living calendar in place of the Google Calendar.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm sure it's going to be a lot more updated. Yep. Yep. Cool.
Okay, and then I'm gonna put a link just in the footer.
Do you still have to publish it? You have to still publish it for it to go live, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can also add in, here we go, this is what I'm gonna do.
Oh, change the link. Yeah. We should probably say calendar. Never mind. It's okay. We'll update it.
Okay. So this is the very, very basic, this is what they call the standard schedule, but we can create any number of custom schedules that we want to show up. So we could also create a page, for instance, on childbirth and baby prep that is a custom schedule of just the childbirth and baby prep classes. And then it would take them there for that. But as of now, we may have to talk to them about the loading of that. But so what's showing up right now is classes. So it's showing things for the day, and then also today. Filter. You can filter all the different classes that you wanted to see. And clients will be able to do this. This is not me doing this right now. This is like anybody who's on the website. Like, I only want to see classes that happen on Wednesday evening. Where's the rest of the screen?
Under event type, it lists the actual advanced registration classes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when I think event type, I think of like categories.
Oh, does it say
I know.
where does
Yeah.
it say advanced registration classes?
It doesn't say advanced. It's event types right here.
Oh,
There will be some changes to what we, verbiage that we've used in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That we'll have to just kind of adapt. I don't know how to get out of here right now.
Yeah, I just want to say, I don't mean to like, so Sophia, I don't know, did your comment get completely addressed there? May I just, let me know when I can make a comment.
You can go now. You can go.
I think that it's a really beautiful system. Um, I love the visual. I love the colors that kind of show me that different classes. It just, you compare it to what we had as Google Calendar, and it was just this list of things. Where at least now, it's easier to see what we have available.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my questions is regarding categories, and so I think I just don't know how to go back and do this. And my apologies.
So, yeah, it's okay. So I actually built a couple of schedules already. So this is like the childbirth parent education class schedule. I have to still go back and fix some of it. But I think the primary thing, Cindy, I think the question that you're asking is really like, what do these things mean again? And remember that classes are things that are happening on a recurring basis. So our support groups and our yoga classes will be listed under classes.
Yeah, and just for terminology purposes, I think the whole that happen on a recurring basis is not maybe the best choice for our clients, because series classes happen on a recurring basis too, right? Like in terms of a 5-week series, it's to them, it's a recurring, right?
Right, but we would use different terminology in that class.
So then, because those are events,
this kind of recurring class literally repeats every single week, whereas an event is an instance of a class, and the class may be any number of weeks, but it only happens for that period of time.
right?
So
Well,
we have
yeah,
lots
I think the
of
word,
things.
yeah, I think that if when we decide, and maybe it's sooner rather than later, like deciding on that terminology, which could be its own separate discussion, I think is just really important, because I think how a customer views the word, like for example, advanced registration versus recurring, even the word weekly, like recurs weekly, is just a little bit different from how we have been referring to it. So from what I understood, essentially, a drop-in, what we call the drop-in,
Yeah,
is a class.
yeah.
And what we call an event in wellness living is advanced registration. Well, we call them registration-based classes, right? And
Correct.
the reason I never liked registration-based classes is you can register for a drop-in, right? Like
Right.
and
I
that's
understand.
this is a nice opportunity, I think, for Blossom to just define, like we have to do it. Unfortunately, we have to do this translation of our old terminology and create easy to understand new terminology, as
Yeah.
maybe part of some type of FAQ.
I kind of feel that it's more internal for us than it will be for the clients, because I think when they come to the site, just based on seeing these things, it's going to be very clear that these are yoga classes. Whereas if we're talking about
I think I know what you're saying. I think I know what you're saying, Dominique. You're trying to say that they won't have to actually click on events or classes because it's going to be mixed together in a calendar, a schedule, right? So the need for them deciphering, do I click events or classes, they won't really need that because they're going to have a mix of both on their calendar.
Right. And I mean, we can create the custom calendar so they may be on a page that only sees what we call registration-based classes, but to them, it's just going to look like this is a breastfeeding basics class. So,
And that's actually my preference because in their view, everything that they take with us is a class.
right.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
going to
And
be,
they,
so,
Yeah.
so what we have the opportunity to do now is to change it to say something more like classes and workshops registration. So that's not just, I mean, right now we have learning and there's lots of different things under here, but it can change when we get into wellness living to classes and workshops. And then literally people can just see what are the things that we have available.
Because currently on our website, when we refer to events, we mean like really specialty
And-
events,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
the diapering thing or like,
or
you know.
the BFF was an event.
Right.
Halloween
Yeah,
was an
yeah.
event.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like there is, so I guess there's two things, right? There's the client who is used to how we did things and probably who actually really likes our website now that they know where things are and what they're called. And then there's the new client who's coming into us, and I'm just suspecting that they might have a slightly different perspective. So ideally, when they see classes and like these in wellness living, they should be able to see everything.
Yeah.
So
And then,
if-
and then of course there will be filters. So if they decide that they want to see something specific, and we can control the things that they're seeing by customizing the schedule. So I'll just let
Can
me.
you pause? Wait, Dominic, can you pause on this? Wait,
Oh,
go
go back to the filter. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like what I mentioned earlier about the event type, that's just kind of, that is weird that they would say types. That's the only thing about wellness living is like maybe they haven't thought through everything in the system, but calling different events event types is weird
Yeah,
because
it should just really
like,
say like events.
yeah, it should say like
Oh,
events
no.
or here are the events, list
I-
of events, like, you know.
Can I actually
Well-
suggest what I think that might be for?
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me share my screen because this is for me. Like I'm, and really, I'm only a client. I'm not. I'm not an instructor, so it's easier, I think, for me to see things a little differently. And so this is the client view of where I am at, right?
Mhm.
And so classes, they're all yoga because I know what we mean by classes. And so I think that if we can use event type, I think we're supposed to use it. So to help categorize
Right.
these things at the top, because we don't have everything in here yet, right? We only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, we have things in there, but I think that there are some that we may need to still do a little bit of cleanup on the event type, because some of us we have been we were just putting things in. So we're still in the, I think, cleanup phase. So we can put everything that is childbirth prep related under that childbirth prep.
Under childbirth prep. Oh.
And then anything that
I get
shows,
it.
anything that is a childbirth prep event type,
I see.
see how it all shows up there.
I see. I just didn't scroll down because I thought it was only like childbirth prep series, and that's just my.
But I
fault.
still think we have a little bit of cleanup to do with that, because
Breastfeed.
so if you
There is
baby-
Dominique.
yeah, if baby
All my
prep-
classes are there, but certainly these tags were something that we didn't really know where they
yeah.
went to or what their
Exactly.
purpose was. So I think that once we started creating the classes, I myself, for example, birth after cesarean was a filter that I created that I don't think should be there anymore. It should
Right,
be
right,
under
so we'll
childbirth
put it
prep.
under childbirth prep.
So I have that here, and it will be, I think, very useful once we are able to find the categories that we have. We could go for what we have now, which is childbirth prep, baby prep. What else would we add?
For professional
Professional
groups.
development.
yeah.
So I think it'll be very useful. We just have to go back to every class, and I can't in my head go back to exactly the place where we set these. I know that if I go back into wellness living, I know where it is, but certainly this is something that we still have to do.
I get it now. So this is really cool, actually. I think this is a really powerful tool. I love this tool. I thank you guys for all the work that you clearly put in.
But I do think that it's time, perhaps it's something that we should think about. If we're
should.
changing the names here, then should we call our registration-based classes events or
no.
workshops or classes?
Right, exactly. We had this
Right.
great opportunity to make this easier. and I don't want to like
internally, even if it's just for us, it would be
Right.
very helpful if we all spoke the same word when we refer to, you know, it's
and
just,
so I think Sophia, like as a now client, right? What's maybe different for you, it might not be possible for you to not think about category names that are ideal. But I'm positive that we can get a client or like one or two clients to help us say, I was trying to find this and I couldn't find it. Like somebody that has I don't know, somebody that's taken Blossom classes that can try to actually provide input on this. But I know we need to do it pretty quickly, right? We can't like have this go on
But-
indefinitely. I just
but
think that it's important to get a client's view on this because how we think of things is just because that's what we know how to find stuff in the menus, right?
Right.
Sophia,
So-
you were-
So the top menu, so this, the word says birth cesarean, breastfeeding. So I'm viewing, like, from my perspective, that this is like our navigation, our top navigation for wellness living, right? So the way we would treat our normal website, like if we think that our current navigation on our website was not good, that will help us influence this one. I guess I'm still from the perspective that I did like the baby prep as a category. I did like childbirth prep as a category, and I did like professional. So I did kind of actually like our categories as they were,
Yeah.
but sorry, like they were actually subcategories. Like parent baby groups should be a category on top, right? It should be like childbirth prep, baby prep, parent baby groups, like maybe quicker access to our key offerings. So yoga, what did I just say? Support groups,
Mm-hmm.
childbirth prep, baby prep. What else do we offer? Oh, specialty. So like menopause and all these other things, like diapering, I would say probably like specialty. Maybe call it specialty or unique opportunities. Some way to say that it's not related to fully directly related to childbirth and babies and breastfeeding. So like specialty maybe. So this is a great opportunity to like that would help us and the client like really go where they need to go,
or they need
like
to
versus trying to find parent baby groups on our website. If you go to our website, we have to kind of like go to parent baby groups. Usually I think our marketing was leading them there, but if you just came to our website, you'd be like, I have no idea where parent baby groups
Correct.
are, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if I may, Sophia, there was one thing you said a while ago in a meeting that I really resonated with me. It's just like that we should market for what stage we are at. So if I can just put something slightly different out there,
Yeah.
like I'm pregnant versus my baby is
Good
here
one.
versus, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Right? Like
Yeah.
unfortunately for that, then there aren't as many umbrellas. Like we didn't have as I'm not
Well,
able to
it was
express
the
what I'm trying
offers
to
by
say.
stage. Yeah, it was I think
Yes,
you're referring
right?
to the offers by stage. It
Yeah,
was
offers
like
by stage.
prenatal. Oh, I want to have a baby. Fertility. I don't know, what do you call it?
Yeah, yeah.
Pre-baby. Conceiving. I'm conceiving. I'm working on conceiving. I've conceived. The baby's here. And then
Baby's here.
and then
Yeah.
help on postpartum period. And then
Yeah,
beyond.
the only- Yes, and that was kind of the direction when we did the website brainstorm a long time ago, is except that there's people who are like going through them, and some of the classes also span more than one
One stage.
area, and so
Oh, they would apply to both filters. Then can we put them in both filters? Like, so for instance, the one that's like after your baby's birth could apply to prenatal and postnatal, right?
possibly, I'm not sure on the answer on that one.
So I think that obviously today we're not going to have any like decisions
We can.
regarding what that should. Okay. Well, I
We
guess
can have, I can create a, what are we calling this here? Event type per se, a tag, and I could have after your baby's birth on both prenatal and baby prep, or
Oh.
I can have that. I know that.
You can have
Yes.
that.
You can choose after we create the event, then
Oh.
there's all the tags that we've created at the bottom, and then you just pick and choose. So I think for reporting also on our end is going to be interesting to see,
Yeah, it
for
will
us to tag everything. On the discussion we were having about the website, one thing that I think it's very important for us to keep in mind is that we kind of need to think about a model and stick to it. We have the same information repeated in too many places.
Right.
Now, from the perspective that I have in this new role is that I have to if I make one small change, there's so many different places that I need to update by hand.
I see.
And honestly, I think that some of the pages that we have are more useful to us than to the clients. So we just have on our website, you can find the same information in way too many places. And the problem with that is that we're prone to make mistakes whenever we have a slight change to it.
So
Yeah.
there,
I've
I
made
can
many.
definitely see what you're saying about, oh, sorry, Carolina, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm listening a lot today. It's very, very helpful, everything you guys are saying. I do think we will have to do a separate meeting to go through all these little changes
Yeah.
that you guys want to discuss, because let's take advantage of making sure that we answer all the other concerns
Yeah.
that we need to Sheldon for,
Yeah, this
but
is-
I don't want to dismiss it. And also another thing that I want to say that maybe we can start thinking, since we are making so many changes, and I do agree with Helena, whenever we meet, there's so many websites that we like, pages that we need to make the changes for, and then if we miss one, it's a big deal. And we have always been a great team to support each other, and hey, you changed it here but not there, but it would be easier if it's all just one location. And then another thought that I had, when would it be a good timing close to the launch, or maybe, I think maybe even like as we get closer to knowing exactly how we want to label things and how we want to route things, that we get in contact with Allison's husband, right? I don't want to miss that opportunity that he offered, that he would help us with that. So at what point, let's think about at what point we bring him in, or maybe he should be part of that discussion of how do we label, how do we route. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yes. Yeah,
I
definitely
think,
don't want to
Go
lose.
ahead, yeah.
Mhm.
That was a really kind offer. And
Mhm.
this is actually very exciting. Like, I look at this and I get very excited.
Yeah.
Of course, I have a lot of questions, but I get very excited just by looking at it. It's just so much more user friendly. It's just,
Yes.
I can click
I'm-
enroll now, and like,
Mhm.
it's great. Thank you for the work you've put in here.
Can I, so I was gonna say that, I think, oh man, I feel like we open up, I don't know if can of worms I was trying to say a positive metaphor, but like, I think that certain things are opening up can of worms, at least for me. So if we do bring Allison's husband in, here's the thing. We've had that huge discussion in the staff meeting where we mentioned how much is our website going to not matter, but like what is going to happen to our website. So if our website's going to be not as powerful of a tool, then his I don't know what he would provide. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like what, first of all, okay, I'm going back. So first we have to figure out exactly the look and be able to explain to him how the integration will look on our website. And then we can say like, oh, we will no longer need this and this and this. Now, can you provide input? So we have to first start off with the position of, this is how it's gonna look. We know for sure it's gonna look like this, and we no longer need like 80 of these pages. And then also, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so
I know where you're going. Yeah, that's exactly the correct process. So we would have to set a separate meeting where we talk about how we want things to look at, and then we can still decide at that point if I do think that the website will be important. I don't think it will not. Some people love to use the app and will love that, but other people are gonna still look at the website. I don't think we should not put an emphasis, especially now that we are in this remote world. I do think that we do want to make sure that it's as friendly and easy to navigate as possible, and informative, of course.
if I could go back to that question about how it will look on our website. So if I am driving them to the website, and it will be just a simple integration, they won't separately just go in. Oh, I think Dominic's are you talking to someone? Okay, so they won't just simply log into Wellness Living to access Blossom, will they? Like, will they still go to, oh. I think
Yes,
she's-
from what I understand, they
Okay.
will still go to the website, but I know that it can be, we can like talk with, what's his name again, Sheldon?
Sheldon, yeah.
Exactly the way that we want it to work, and we can always have them, and they have to log into Wellness Living to select the classes, register, and they will be also, one of the features that I liked is that they will have their own schedule inside of their Wellness Living that they can also refer back to. So let's say they signed up for prenatal support and diapering and I don't breastfeeding and all these classes, and they will have their own schedule.
Yeah,
that they
my
signed
schedule.
up.
So because so here the marketing aspect is now we'll be able to also market to them via Wellness Living. So one of the things, like Dominique showed me and that I can work on is I can say like, oh, you signed up for baby prep, and then I send them an email. You might want to do prenatal yoga because you are pregnant, blah 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 blah. So then it comes back to again our website. If there is, will they be using our website as a research tool, or once they like land in Wellness Living, they might just live in Wellness Living, and they might not go
That's-
back to our website. You know what I mean?
That's kind of my thought, is that they will come to our website, of course, because that's where we're driving them to. And then essentially the learning and yoga and fitness areas right there will turn into classes and workshops. That's just where they will go. That essentially all of our classes and workshops, which is everything that's on Wellness Living, will live. Or classes and events, whatever we collectively decide to call it. But that is where they will go to find out information for all of their classes.
So maybe our website is going to be mostly for new clients, more for new leads. They get in, they ideally sign up for Wellness Living, and then goodbye. You never see our website again.
Well, I don't know that they don't need to see our website, because I think that our website can serve different purposes. So,
Yeah.
right now we have perinatal resources. That's probably not something that's going to get into Wellness Living. And we could have additional resources that are local to, just our area, like links to organizations we feel are important, like ACOG and the AAP, Association of Pediatrics, like things that
yeah, that makes sense. That are like you're not signing up for American Pediatrics because you're learning
Right.
about it, right?
that we
So
really
we
are a resource at that point.
Yeah, we will become actually what we were meant to be, a resource/community center. And then the registration aspect is going to be amazing and Wellness Living. And so maybe we don't need to have all that stuff on our website, and we will become truly a resource center. And then once you're interested in our classes resource part, you go to our Wellness Living system to live in that world. And then if you want to know about birth support and professional groups, and then our provider directory, right, that's going to still stay on our. So maybe we're just rethinking our part of like the business model. Like our website is going to be a resource center. You want the classes and events, bam, you're in Wellness Living. And so we're just rethinking our website is like kind of like rethinking we are going to really be a resource center. So that sounds like I'm just using my marketing brain right now.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect. Yes, I think that's it, right? And then we have big Halloween events or any other event that would be.
Everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
Helena, it looks like you were going to say something. Did you want to say something?
There was one, I don't recall exactly what session this was, but I recall that you, Dominique, you showed us when we go, for example, into any page to register, and now we have the links to Yoga Reg. I remember that you showed us that exact link, how it would be if it were linked to Wellness Living. And what we saw was that when you click on that, what we have now for Yoga Reg is that you go straight to a page just to pay and register, right? We don't have information about the class. And what we saw when you showed us, when now connecting to Wellness Living, that when you click on that link, you're going to have the exact same information that's already on the website again there. And that's when we went, oh, wow. So the whole thing is here already. Now, I hadn't thought about what you said about SEO back then, because now when I heard you say, I went, oh, I get it. Because if we're doing that, then would we cut every word that we have on our website, and that would be a problem.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point. Yeah.
But
I'm still
the
not
thing
clear.
the thing is, I hear that, but I think we also have to understand, and I think it's probably better if I show you guys on the share screen, is that within every single one of these classes and events, what is this? Let me classes.
By the way, I already feel like 100 times better. Like already, like about everything. Like
Good.
this is bombs exploded.
Oh, that's appointments? Appointments, sorry. And I want to go into classes. Now we have to get familiar with what these little icons are all the time. Okay, so let's just say mom and baby yoga, for instance. Okay. All the way down here at the bottom, this is a direct booking link. Now, I believe in my head that our SEO can just point directly to this link.
So okay,
Like,
so
if
when
you
you
have,
refer-
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Click on that. What is that? When you click on that, what is that exactly?
Okay.
Like if you click on it,
I'm just going to use our example here so you can see how it will show up. Okay. No, I wanted this to go up here.
I just wanted to really quickly explain like SEO in a nutshell. So when we say SEO, it is, I don't know how to put it. Okay, okay. So SEO is when a website has lots of content, a lot of words. Everything you put on a website gives Google an understanding of what you offer and how to put you higher or lower in a search based on like also it's how long you've been around. There's all these things to the algorithm. So when so what we're talking about right now is if we're going to Wellness Living, right? We already and it's okay if we're cool with it, right? We're cool, right? So we take out the classes and events, and they're gonna go in Wellness Living. They won't be directly, or they will. Well, what happens? This is where it gets kind of complicated because if it's an integration, a Wellness Living integration, the question is, will that integration be the same? Because I'm not a developer, will that integration still be considered as those words living on our page? And I'm sorry if I'm getting too technical, but like, let's say we're writing in Weebly content, right? Like this class is about if you had a cesarean, right? Versus this class about cesarean is now content that is on Wellness Living, but has been integrated into that page on Weebly, right? Like I don't know enough as a developer or programmer or something to know if will Google still count that integration as our content, that's our words. Do you know what I mean? Did I lose everyone? Did I lose everyone?
No,
you didn't, Sophia. I was just going to say, so making sure I recap. SEO, search engine optimization. We've had a long-standing, very popular website. If we move content from this website to somewhere else, the question is, will it change the effectiveness of, will it change the
how we're found.
Impact on our search results, right? I think, is that what you were trying to say? I'm just trying to, got it.
Yeah, because, and it comes down to, because we are going to be doing an integration of Wellness Living. So if it still counts as our content, our words, when it is integrated into our website, then nothing should affect SEO. But if it's considered that now, like those words are wellness living words, do you know what I mean? Then it won't count towards our SEO. I don't know if I'm getting really confusing.
I understand.
No, not at all. Is the Wellness Living database part of our website,
Yeah, like the
basically?
database, 'cause I don't know anything like about the developer situation. So like if it's considered in the world of websites that when an integration happens, that those words are still counted as part of our website, we will not lose SEO and will still show up for search results for those words that also appear in wellness living. So okay, go ahead.
So
I understand what you're saying. I think the only thing we can do is play around with it a little bit. Do you think you can take one of the links? For instance, I just did the mommy and baby yoga. That is a direct link from mommy and baby yoga.
I think, you know what, I can ask Sheldon, like if I could have a direct, or if I can email
Okay,
you.
yeah, that's something we can add into the question for Sheldon.
Yeah,
yes,
I can write out exactly what to ask Sheldon. It would be something along the lines of wellness living is integrated into each of our class pages, right? Does that content count towards our SEO, or is it taken away? Like he'll probably understand what I'm saying since I'm using like layman's terms.
Yeah.
So I'll just ask him. Yeah, it's
So-
not. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's important that Sophia asked that question and she is present, and like I think everybody, all of us are important to be in the meeting, and everyone asked their concern, but that one specifically, because it is so technical, it just has to be addressed and confirmed. And I think another thing, thank you, Amy, for sending that document in the chat. I think another concern, not concern, but something that we need to think about now is first, like next step, the meeting where we talk about all the verbiage we want to use, how we want to change it, how we want to route classes and events to either what groups. And then also, Dominique, I think it's important that we know when the client's information will be able to be in Wellness Living.
Yeah,
And then also important is, I know Sheldon mentioned that they're going to close. So, and that is also in Amy's document. like red light, right? I remembered that that's important that we know exactly when they will be closed, so that we have all that ready to go, so that when we are closed, we can just be working on the small little detail changes and testing out the system for ourselves, right? So that we kind of feel we are okay without them if something happens.
But when are they closed? When you say closed, do you mean
it's
like
just it's their like end of year close.
so no service is no support is
That's
gonna
what
be
I
available?
that's what
We
I
need to
understood.
verify the timing of it.
Yeah,
Mhm, mhm,
that's what
Mhm.
that's I think those are the next important steps.
mhm.
Is there a way we can decide right now, like that we're not going to launch, for instance, January 2nd, since we're kind of closed for 2 weeks ourselves? Should we just like delay it maybe? Like,
Yeah, I
so
think that's a good idea, Sophia.
Mhm, mhm. The board would certainly be very supportive of that. I mean, the decision, of course, is all in your hands, right? And but the general guidelines from the board would be, let's do this right, and it's fine if it takes a little bit longer. It's of course important to do because it's going to be so helpful to our business. But we're going for low stress. Let's get this done reasonably. So that would be the board's feedback. But this is your project, not the board's project. So you guys, I know Dominique and Carolina, you've been leading it, and it's your strategic, it's your strategic call.
Yeah, but I do agree that it's okay to realize that we need more time. It doesn't mean failure. It doesn't mean
No,
No,
not at all.
Yeah, not
Not
at
even
all.
the smallest bit. I've been just being
Exactly.
very, very clear as an individual contributor. I would say, like, oh my gosh, January 1st, there's just, and my document relates to more things, just big picture from the business to think about. I mean, it seems like we still have a fair amount of questions. So of course it would take a while longer. And of course we're closing for 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
Amy Ramsey, says like, wow, we definitely need more time. And of course, and the board, of which Amy Ramsey is, a big part, would of course we generally agreed. But we don't want to step on anybody's, toes or interfere with
Yeah.
any planning. But I've certainly been very impressed with like listening to videos, seeing all this work you guys are doing. I mean, this is just a big thing to do, right? It's just a big thing to do.
Huge
That's
thing
it.
to do.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. And I agree. And that's why I think it's also such a important thing to get together as a team and address those questions that maybe did not pop up in my head or, in anyone else's head. So because of this meeting and because of where we are right now, I would also agree, first getting together with Sheldon, looking, okay, when are they gonna be closed? How soon can the client information be updated? And then knowing that, we can determine a new date and do it a little more calmly, because that's also not, it feels better if we can do it calmly. Just
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it relieves the stress. And I think we don't need any additional stress. I don't know if I shared this with anybody, but I had a family member pass away this weekend.
Oh,
And she's 56 years old and she suddenly just collapsed. And I'm like, why? I don't know what exactly her reasons were, but it made me rethink a lot of things, and we don't
Yes.
have to hurry. We don't have to hurry.
yeah,
no.
different perspective. Yeah, I'm sorry, Carolina, for your
Yeah,
loss.
thank you. Thank you.
I did. So I do have, Sheldon has the client information, and the only thing that I'm waiting on right now is that I want to make sure that as much of the information from Yoga Reg is able to be imported into Wellness Living as possible. And there's some things that he can very easily import and some things that are not. And so that's where I'll be going back and forth with him kind of this week to make sure that as much of that data can come over as possible. Because the other thing I know is that we're so small, you guys don't have time to like put somebody's individual information in. So
Right.
that's kind of where, and then also, if we're not able to, if there's some data that's not able to be imported into the system, where that data will be housed for us and how you guys will be able to access it. So that's what I'm going to be really, really focused on this week. But he does have it, and he has, he's scrubbed the list and gone through information that he can import and can't import. So we're almost on the side. The actual import doesn't take that long, but we do have to get the data formatted properly prior to actually doing the import.
Yes, exactly.
And one related comment that I had, Dominique, and that was actually kind of the first set of bullets I had in my one pager is, it's sort of looked to me from listening to the videos, we're gonna have this wonderful spreadsheet. We can have as many columns as we would like. It's basically going to be imported into the client card, which is basically kind of think of it as just sort of a flat field, like a PDF of client type data. But for the things that would be part of the other pieces of Wellness Living, so classes pieces or payment type pieces, it sounded like anything that we want, like a future class that had been booked in February. Those are the types of things that we would probably need to manually input into the calendar type system. And I wanted to offer that as a solution. I am sure the board would support, if we needed some help with data entry or something, we could certainly pay for that, right? So if we need extra support for certain things that cannot be manually input in the system in a way where it's actually going to work with the system, let's get extra support. So I wanted to share that I'm with you, and that piece is critical to figure out. And if we need extra support, you, Carolina, you should not be shy about asking for that.
Right. And I think a lot of what might influence whether you want that to be paid versus solicited through volunteerism, and it's hard to get volunteers to the holidays, of course, right? So I do appreciate the offer to have it paid for. It's just the volume of what we're talking about, right? So some of the things that I was going to ask about, I don't want to get sidetracked if anyone else has any other discussion topics before I launch into other things that I...
Well, should we pause for 1 second, actually, before we're diving into that? So I'm just thinking about, in terms of the meeting that we have, it sounds like, Dominique, you have a meeting today with Sheldon. And so might,
No, we don't have a meeting later.
you don't have to do it today, but I was going to suggest if, I realized the very high level data integration stuff, those are some of those things are things that, we would be discussing amongst ourselves. What would probably make some sense to focus on is, like Sophia had, the very technical questions for Sheldon about, or things that are very wellness living operations data specific, as opposed to, big picture things or small things or things just relating to our business, like redoing the website, right? So the stuff in the middle, I was wondering if we had other things, just wrapping up Sophia's comments on search engine optimization before we focus on, some of these other branches.
Okay.
I don't have anything specifically for that, but I do see that you have Deanna in this document enough a few times, and I just want to, who's Deanna?
Now, maybe I got the name wrong. Now, she had been, so I know we had been, Caroline, thinking about, the team had been thinking about, what, some extra help. And I thought she was a previous volunteer who knew our system. I may have just gotten the name wrong. Did I get the name wrong, guys?
I think I know who you're referring to. She was going to help us with social media, but right now I think she's like really.
No, that's the other Deanna.
Deanna
There are two
Zito?
Deannas.
Yeah.
There's
No, this
Caroline,
is the other
who were you
Deanna.
speaking of? Was there someone?
there was somebody who did help us with the.
Yes.
Cindy knows her last
Yeah,
name. What's
Deanna
her-
Zito.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zito.
Okay.
Yeah, Deanna Zito was a volunteer, and she actually did work for Lou quite recently, I think before Lou left, regarding data entry. She's really great and fast at it. She's also the person that Allison suggested come on board for the provider stuff. Yeah, that Deanna.
And she's also a doula.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, mhm.
Yes. So who I meant, and you remember, I'm hearing this is like a game of telephone, right? So, we
Yeah,
have
that's fine.
somebody who might be able to help us do something. I'm like, oh, great. So the big picture point is, if we need extra help on the website project, maybe someone like that could help with, maybe someone like her could help with that too. And I thought her name was Dina. That was the, there's nothing beyond that in here.
Oh, it is.
I think that just let me just
Yeah.
just do
Maybe-
a I'm sorry.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
The classes that you're referring to, Amy, that were in Yoga Reg, all our classes for 2021 are already inputted in Wellness Living.
Yeah.
They're all there already with instructors and time, and yeah, that's already.
And what I meant by that, and I'm not controlling the screen. What I was thinking about here is if somebody had booked in Yoga Reg for February, that when we want it to be part of the Wellness Living calendar, my impression from the things that Sheldon had said in the video was that actually, that doesn't come over. You can put it in the client profile but it's not going to be useful to the system. We would have
That's what
to
he said
input
too, right?
pre-booked stuff. That's all I meant by that.
Yes.
That's
Got it.
100% correct.
You're right. Yes.
And that's kind of why we're itching to get over, because
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
don't
Yeah,
want to
exactly.
create a bunch of areas where folks are booked into things.
Which I want to recognize when you have a talk with him is one of the main reasons, like how we're different from their typical client, right? We will book out because of pregnancy. We will book out far in advance compared to what I would imagine an average yoga studio might.
Yeah,
Um,
I've already talked to him about that, and so there is a way for us to turn on the system to allow people to start registering, but there's just still a lot of ambiguity there, and I don't want to create something that does actually confuse our clientele.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's kind of why we just have
We're in between a rock and a hard place,
yeah,
Dominique.
we are.
because
we are.
And
in order to get the bookings into Wellness Living for February and beyond, we'd need to turn on Wellness Living, and in that case, we'd have to go live with Wellness
Right.
Living. In which case, we have to be fully. Yeah, it's a
Unless you did something in the middle, like we turn it on but they don't see it, and then we have a paid person or somebody else.
We turn on just the classes like yoga and support groups, which is the one that gives us more problems. Because I have to tell you, I'm itching to switch because I am just I can't stand sending links anymore. And honestly, it's something that seriously,
No,
it's
I
easy,
understand.
but
Yeah,
we
we
make
understand.
mistakes, and then it's a problem. For example, I had a problem with one client 3 times in 3 days, and I don't know what to tell her anymore. And it's not because we don't do our jobs well. It's we're overwhelmed. It's too much, and the system sucks. That's why we want to move as fast as we can. But I do understand everything else too. So it's a very difficult place to be
It is,
because
it
we
is.
want it now, but we are not able to have it now.
How
properly,
about
let's say.
how about not making a decision right now about changing
But that would
it?
be halfway, Carolina, are we able to just put out the yoga and the support groups, which are the worst ones for us to deal with because of the Zoom integration and all of that?
You can
Perhaps,
certainly ask,
Can I
right?
ask?
right? We could
Ask
ask.
the question, yeah.
So
That makes
the
great sense.
question-
And in a way, it's nice to have a test, a subset of our classes as a test, right? I think it's a nice idea.
So no, yes, I love the idea. So I think that what I wanted to say actually is, how about we reach out to Sheldon, we ask all those specific scenarios if we can do them, and if then, of course, if that one is possible, then we go that route, and that will already alleviate a lot, and we can slowly move into it. And if that's not possible, then let's not put also too much weight on the shoulder. Let's try for that. Let's not make a decision right away until we have all the answers, and then after that, okay, make that decision between us and say, okay, how much time do we actually also need to brainstorm on all this name? How much time does it take to bring all the client information in? How much time will it take to update Wellness Living with all the clients that have already registered? And it's true, it would be nice if we could start in January, because not many people are going to be registering actively in December. It's not a month where people are like incredibly active thinking about what they're going to do in January, February, and so forth. They're thinking about holidays and spending time with family. So it would be nice. But how about we make that 100% decision once we have all those answers? If you can tell us, Dominique, when you want to reach out to Sheldon, or if that meeting, when that meeting could take place, so that we can.
He said, actually, that's what I wanted to check with everybody. He does have time this week. It's on Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. Go ahead, Sophia, while I'm looking for them.
Quick question. So just to make sure I'm on the same page, when we say, so like the hardest ones are the parent baby groups and yoga and stuff like that. When we say turn that on, we mean like integrate that into our website now, and then they can register for those in Wellness Living. So what that would mean is that they would be exposed to Wellness Living, and then they'd have to create an account. Like, I think maybe it's okay. Maybe it's actually 10 times easier than Yoga Reg, and maybe we shouldn't be as scared, because I'm looking at Wellness Living and it's gorgeous. It's way easier. Like, I still have no idea how to do half the things in Yoga Reg. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be gone soon, don't touch it. So like maybe we should like experiment a little. Like, let's see what happens to the yoga and drop-in people when they get exposed to Wellness Living. I'm talking like a COVID person exposed to Wellness Living, and then they have to like sign in and get that whole thing started. And then that will help us to, when we open it up to the whole thing, like we'll have the learnings, we'll have like a sample group learnings of like what people thought of it,
If I could, I see your point. Like, why be so afraid when it looks pretty good? I think we're missing. So that's what it's actually very related to both what Amy was trying to say regarding client migration, as well as why we would or would not want to go live soon. And so I'll just list a couple of these things. Actually, if I could share my screen. Let me know when I can. Okay, great. And it looks great, guys. It really does. Like, it's so nice to see something so user-friendly and so much nicer than Yoga Reg. It's like I want to have a party. Okay. So, mostly here on. So I added a class. I just haven't paid. But it looks like I could hit yes. If I hit continue, will it charge my credit card?
Uh,
Are you
I
sharing your
don't think so because I don't think that technically the system is on yet. Like we're not fully go live.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so cute. So what what I do want to say is that I think before we go live, we would need to test payment, particularly by all the credit cards that you can see. And I'm just wondering if people can still pay by PayPal. And also regarding the data integrity portion, if we want them to start booking, that means they also are paying. And so what they pay will depend on whether they're already a member. So if they're a member, then they should see a different price than if they're a non-member. And also a lot of our clients do have either a credit balance or they owe money. It's not obviously everyone, but there are a number in there because I see them every week. So that's something that I would hope that Sheldon can prove we retain during the import process. And then maintaining their relationships of clients and spouses that are against a client. That's really important because if we don't retain that and they're just come in as a bunch of individuals that are like babies with certain dates, I would say to pay someone to do that would be like probably very expensive. And it would be a lot of work for volunteers. So I'd say that's a pretty key piece. And if we can't get it, then we just don't bring it. If you know what I mean. Like if there's a flag to say flag spouse equals true, then let's just not bring it rather than bring it in and have them all appear as individual clients. Like that's just my possible suggestion. Is Amy, she's still here, but maybe she's not.
Looking, turned off my video
Yeah.
I was checking in on
Did you,
Veronica, my
right,
3-year-old.
right. Yes. So did you hear the question I just asked about this whole part here, the relationships of the spouse and child? So in Yoga Reg, we have fields
already-
for baby, we have fields for spouse. And so if
Mhm.
they get brought in, but the relationship to the client is lost, I might go as far as to say, let's just not bring that information in at all, because then you'd have a bunch of rows and you don't know who those people belong to. That's just my thought process.
Okay, I see
Mhm.
that was more complicated than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, of course, the ideal is to have all the family accounts linked. I mean, I defer to, of course, I'm not part of the day-to-day business, right? So thinking in terms of, what's going to be, I mean, always, right? We're trying to have the, practical, easy, valuable solution. We want to go like the 80-20 type rule. So I don't have a
Yeah.
particular strong opinion on that. With relationship to the payment type of information, yes, Cindy, I absolutely agree that talk to Sheldon to figure out. Well, my impression had actually been that you couldn't import the previous payment history or information or classes, et cetera, or passes in any useful way. So that would either be something where
Yes, good.
cut over the data later, or somebody has to manually import it. And I don't know how many classes we have outstanding, but certainly, that would be, again, I mean, the board is, I mean, it costs money to have a new system, right? So we are, we're not expecting everybody to work. The board is not crazy. We don't expect people to work triple time or do crazy things to get this up and running. We're going to have the support to get this done right. We just need to figure out with Sheldon what's what.
Yeah.
And Caroline, I loved your points earlier about how you're thinking about, let's discuss this as a group, when to cut over, and how exactly will this first launch look like. The board is also very empathetic to the troubles that are going on now with some of these really wacky manual processes. So I think you should take it, the board is open to any common sense, and we're very supportive.
Yeah, so then what I can do, I've already shared this document with all of you. I just bolded the things I think are important. So payment, what they pay, ensuring that their balance or what they owe is brought over so that we know that. And then also the information about relationships with spouse and child. And also you just mentioned that I added in, Amy, that if they have a 8-class pass and they still have 3 left, like that's a pretty important thing for us to be able to know, and ideally for them to be able to know when they are into their account. And if not, like
I don't know, if not, maybe if we can't
I-
really do an integration, which I don't think, just, I don't know, maybe give credit or something. Just the board is open to any creative, reasonable solution to make this not
Right.
terrible. And
Right.
also remember, we're not striving for perfection. Things are going to
Right.
go wrong. If we
Yes.
wait to launch until it's perfect, it will be like June of 2022, right? So we just have to have this be reasonable. I mean, I think
Right.
would be the general
Yeah,
guidance.
and so I think that's something that Sheldon should be able to help us with. Like, if he can't
Mhm.
do it, then what is his suggestion? You know, like for example, he might be inclined to he might want to know how many clients, and this is something Rich can provide. How many clients have a pass that's still valid that has an expiration date that's beyond when we're going to launch, and or that has credits on it.
I
Mhm.
already have all of that information.
Cool,
Mm.
that's amazing.
Mhm.
Is it a lot? Do you know?
No, there's not a ton of people that actually have passes right now that are active. And I think what we will probably need to do is get people who do have outstanding balances paid up, because I think that would be a little bit of a pain to move over.
Yeah.
Credits, on the other hand, I think we can move over.
Right.
But balances, I would say, just need to be paid up and done. And we will move over the folks that have passes. There are not that many of them right now. And membership is
Mhm.
another thing. So
Are there
Mhm.
many people with
well,
people
I
with
think
balances?
that we
Oh.
can go through it in a way that allows. I think I can probably format it so that we basically are adding members. I don't know that that's an automatic thing that will be imported over, but I think that we can add people backwards, basically. So, like, all the people who most recently joined as members would be the first people added as members so that they could take advantage of that. More likely. I mean, it's more likely that somebody who's joined as a recent member is going to be somebody who's going to be actively using it
Absolutely.
than somebody before.
Yeah, that's great criteria.
But I think that there's also a report on activity, so I believe I can see in Yoga Reg the last time people have been active, like the last time they registered for something, because that would be the other thing to grab folks that have used their memberships, basically.
Yeah, that
Right.
would be really helpful.
Right. Yeah, Dominic, I completely agree with that. And as we're just thinking this through, right? I mean, we don't need to enter, somebody who last came here 10 years ago is not going to be a priority, right? So it's figuring out how big are these little problems and, what are sort of the common sense solutions, like, hey, look at recency. I mean, that sounds fabulous to me. Recency is a prioritization for more complete data or more manual data entry if needed type thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to get too many documents going. Can we possibly add your stuff, Cindy, to Amy's doc? I just want to make sure that
You're on mute, Cindy.
you're on mute. Or even if that's it, we can move Amy's stuff over. I just want to be very conscientious to have it all in one place.
Sure, I think Amy, like, I can do that after this so that we have only one document. I agree, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
No problem.
And can we also have a section that is specifically questions for Sheldon, which I did put in Amy's doc, because there's going to be some things that this is, I want to be able to use the time that we do have with him most efficiently. And
Sure.
So whatever questions that we have specifically for Sheldon that he can answer versus things that we're going to be taking care of internally.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
just two separate areas.
I
So
can do that.
Right.
But
And so
the-
guys, what I probably won't do is I'm not going to get into the sort of document questions management, piece. So do whatever you guys see fit with the document that I had started with. I'll let you guys organize it, format it, absolutely however you want. I do not feel precious about it. And don't care if you delete it or even what I started with. So it's just a starting point of some things I thought of for you guys. And I'm going to pass it on. So Carolina or Dominique, if you guys own it, or Cindy, maybe the best thing is, since Dominique had already started pasting in questions, just paste whatever you have at the bottom and we'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. That's perfect.
Are there other questions that we think we have for Sheldon at this time?
I have very specific questions.
Okay,
Um,
let's go through those. Yes, that's what this time is for.
okay, I don't know if you saw this, Carolina, but now when I add events, it gives me options for Zoom rooms. Did you see that?
I did add a few events this weekend and I only clicked on, is it an online or not online? And I didn't see that
No.
specifically.
It gives me options of webinars and meetings. Dominique, is this just
Yeah,
because we added a room or?
Yes, I added the bookable assets.
Okay.
So it's primarily just to make sure that we're not overbooking, that we only book enough rooms that we have. So
Okay.
you can book classes at the same time, but don't book more than 3 Zoom rooms basically at the same time, because that's all that we have available for that. So the assets, and I think is still playing around a little bit about particularly the equipment rentals, trying to see where the best place is for that, because it can go in appointments, it can go under the store, book a spot possibly. So don't pay too much
I'm
attention
gonna play with that too.
now.
Yeah, okay.
because yeah, that might be something I just need to ask Sheldon about, because like I would like to make it a bookable.
So we have notifications and we
but
have a calendar for
can't
it.
Can't, like, the duration of it is not as long as we need it to be. So that wasn't working. And I'm not sure if that's something we can fix or not. So that's one of my questions for him.
Well, he did say that he could build stuff, so perhaps this is something they could think about, right?
And that's
'cause
the other
it's-
thing is that, I mean, for you guys, after I'm no longer here, like, just know that anything that you want this system to do, you should document it and submit it to Wellness Living, because this is a living, breathing, system that's here. And so they're going to be able to make updates, and it may not happen right away, but if enough other organizations that are asking for something similar to what we're asking for do it, then they're going to make an update so that we can do it. So just anything that you see that's not working the way you think it should be working right now, like, make a note of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
For holidays, there is nothing that there's no specific insert holiday here. Do you
No,
think we
but
should create an event or a class? There is?
You
Yay.
can set closed days. I do not remember where to do that.
Okay, it's okay. I can search for it.
There is
'Cause now I know what to look for. Closed days.
I think it's on the schedule. Like, if you go to the primary schedule view,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, okay, I'm gonna share.
Okay.
So on the schedule view, you guys see Wellness Living?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So on the schedule view, the 3 little dots over here is what I selected. You can print, view canceled, open hours, add a closed day. So just for instance, Oh. See, it'll be smart. Okay. Cancel all services, cancel only selected service. Cancel all. Nobody's in, but see, and then you'll also be able to push if something happens and somebody's registered.
Hello?
So that's our close date. Okay. So if I go back to the schedule, you can see it's there. New Year's Day is closed.
Cool, thank you. So I'm gonna add more later.
So I can even put the December days, year-end close. Okay, what else? What's next?
I have to leave in 3 minutes, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions for Sheldon.
I was able to book the same instructor for 2 classes happening at the same time. And I know that we asked him and he said that we wouldn't be able to do it, but I was able to do it. Were you able to do it too, Carolina? You're laughing.
Oh, I'm laughing because I knew that was sounded kind of like when he said that. But
the way he said it, right? The way he
Yeah.
answers sometimes, it's like, yeah, I'm sure you can do that. But
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I didn't guess it. Actually, I was still trying to find 2 instructors. I emailed you about them, Dominique. Maybe I need to put them in manually.
Yeah, maybe. I can
Yeah.
do that.
So we can try doing that with him just to make sure. But as a heads up, I was able to book somebody for the same time, 2 different classes at the same time.
Okay.
But I'll keep my question here. I also I played around with making changes in the events, and there's an option from the calendar view to change the instructor. And what you do is called set substitute.
Substitute?
Yeah, something about substitute. And this is for a class in the future. So they have, they use a specific term to say that I'm going to set a substitute for the future. Anyhow, when I do that, the name of the new teacher is displayed in red. I just want to make sure that there's no impact anywhere else, because what we're looking at is a smarter system, and I'm not quite sure what that means, just to have that name in red for after I change it to substitute. I just want to ask him if there's any impact on anything.
Okay.
Also, Carolina, I don't know if you played around with this, but when I was looking at the sleep support group, I noticed that, for example, in April of 2021, we're gonna have 5 Fridays. So the system, when you set it up, I set it up to have that class happening every 2 weeks from the starting date, right? What happens is if you delete that last, let's say, week, because we're not going to have first, second, and fifth week, right? We're just going to have first and second. Then the whole order then is messed up, right? Yeah. So I don't know if you noticed that, Carolina, but I had to go back and create instances starting from the new, let's say, date every time there was a situation like this.
So what I have done with those, because that was one thing that still is not perfect, I think, in their system that I asked about, is just create an event for the first Friday, an event for the third Friday, so that if there's a 5th Friday, it doesn't throw off your schedule.
That's good. That's a good idea. All right, great.
Yeah, and I didn't have that because I don't have those type of events that I uploaded. I have more the ones that are happening like consecutively. And then
Got
there is
it.
a few where they do have like a one Sunday or one Friday where the teacher decides for some reason they don't want to teach that day. It's a skip Friday. I just go back into the schedule and I delete that specific.
It
Right.
won't impact the upcoming event sessions,
No.
right? I hear what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, and the difference is because you're doing one that is a class that is a repeating class, whereas Carolina's doing one that is an
Mhm.
event, has a set time period that it's lasting.
Right.
Mhm.
On that note, there is a pregnancy support group by Kelly, I believe, that's in events now.
Yes.
Is there a reason why it's there, or is it just should we move it?
I think I did that.
No, but that's okay because
I
we
think I
all
was
did it
doing
in the
that.
beginning. I'm just wondering if there's a special, if there's a special a reason for that. If it's just a mistake, that's fine. We can just change it. It's not a problem. But
Yeah,
this would be one that we would create too, right? We would create one for the first Monday and one for the
Mhm.
third Monday.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Okay.
have to go, guys, but if you can
Okay.
send me the recording, Dominique, so I
Mhm.
can listen to the last
Sure.
part. Thank you, guys. Bye.
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 Okay. What else, Helena? You've got good questions.
I still have, we still have to not think about, but we still have to answer the instructors' questions about seeing students' emails,
Yes.
having access to it.
If
I don't
they
know.
will have access to their emails.
Remember, they want to have access
Oh,
to the students' emails.
send-
Yeah, to send
I
extra
believe-
material.
Let me.
Did we open it already? The question is, if we choose to give them permission to that, will we open permissions that we don't want to open up to them?
Right.
Can I ask a question that I guess maybe I should have known? So currently, do instructors, they only have access to students by sending an email through Yoga Reg, or do they get their email addresses right now somehow?
They could get them on their own. Some of the instructors have people do their own sign up kind of thing. But yes, they can get them through Yoga Reg. That's
So
how
they can access that information about a student? Okay.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's we give them a lot of power because that's like potential students they could take.
they can only access their student though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
know,
still a
but
lot of
that's-
power.
that's a lot
I
of
agree
power,
with
yeah.
you, Sophia. Yeah,
That's a lot of power,
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
kind of have to trust that. Yeah.
I mean, I understand and agree with you, but the other thing is that they do need to be able to communicate with the clients, and they're also their clients. So,
Yep.
Oh, you mean because of the AB law thing, so they're not our clients? So they're technically not our clients?
they're both of our clients.
Okay, okay.
Their Blossom clients are Blossom clients, and when a student signs up to take a class specifically with that instructor, they become that instructor's client.
Wow, we
That's
do
what-
a lot for their clients. We have a whole system we built for their clients.
So
On the flip side.
contractors go ahead, Cindy.
Yeah, just gonna say on the flip side, Marty's been bringing us some of her clients, which I think is fantastic. Like, she's pretty invested in helping us grow our business, and I appreciate that.
So clients, these for independent contractors applies to only their clients. They can
I think it's at the very top, perhaps.
they can send email. They can
Right, but they do that through Wellness Living, right? Like we showed them on the training
Yes.
session.
Yes. View all email reports. Let's just see what they see actually, because
Can you scroll back a little bit, Dominique? I think.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
no, I can go back in there.
When we have the options for managed clients.
Yeah.
I know that we gave them the option to send managed clients, right? So
Yeah.
managed
They
client
don't have all
profile.
the permissions.
Can we give them permission to view client details, or would that be too much? Purchases, memberships.
We can, but see, it says accept client profile. So I don't know that they need to see it because that's what they would
Through
wanna
the
see is their
interface.
profile, right?
I think that what they want is just to be able to copy and paste an email address, right? So that they can send out their own stuff through.
Yes. And so I think that's under reports, under the
Oh, okay.
email access.
Got it.
So attendance. Yeah, I think so. That's why I just want to go to the reports real quick and just see.
Yeah, sure.
Where's the reports?
It's the little graphic. Yeah.
So I think email. No.
Dominique, while you're looking for that,
Yeah.
Helena, the clients at risk, that's is that a new field that we've added or?
This is part of wellness living.
Oh,
Client,
wow.
clients at risk is like clients who have, because you have to understand also that this system is made for gyms as well. So if say a member, if you had a gym membership, clients at risk would be some people who are about to have their membership expire.
Oh, it's not clients at risk. I see. I
Right.
see. I see. Okay.
I feel like maybe we have to be logged in as an instructor
As a client,
to see
as instructor, yeah.
to see what they see, because I see everything.
Yeah.
Do you have still have the login for the instructor?
I have one. Yeah. I have my personal. Let me try it and
Try.
I'll.
You want to share your screen?
Yeah.
Or is it hard to
sure.
do that?
No, it's okay. I just have. It doesn't remember my password. Wants me to change my password. I don't want to change anything now.
Don't make one.
Says it's not. It's too easy to guess. It's like, okay, that's the point. So I don't forget. It's too many things to remember. I have to add that to 1Password, right? Already. Okay. So here's my pretty schedule.
Go into
Reports,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, reports.
Should it be attendance? What happens when I click on?
Try try the marketing.
Email history?
Sure.
Well, I haven't.
Email campaign. Let's try that.
Remind me what you're looking to find, guys.
For the instructors to be able to email their. Okay, well, I think we need to add that to our list because it's not pointing us to the right place. And I'm not exactly sure where. Or we can look up the help, but let's just add it to our list for Sheldon.
Okay.
I found it in the help, but it's okay. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Communications with clients, but we have here clients list report. Oh my.
Wait, you're trying to pull a certain client?
We want the instructors to be able to copy and paste their clients' emails to send them out emails on their
Oh.
own, not
Because-
through the platform.
Because some of the instructors want to send out, say, like a PowerPoint presentation that they're going to be using as part of the class, and like Bill mails out a PDF of signs, before he's doing stuff. So there's stuff that they want to send
They
prior
can't do
to.
that through Wellness Living? They can't do that through Wellness Living?
No, I think that they can. We're just trying to figure out where.
Oh, so there should be, yeah, like it sounds like something that should be available in this kind of system
Yeah.
for them to
I
attach files.
feel like it's probably just within the class. Like, I don't know that they're.
So
like-
let's,
Yeah,
let me-
let's
Can
do
I
a
share
test
my screen?
class. Can we create a test class with us as students and see?
Can I just share my
if-
screen, guys? Because I have the help article
Have
on
it?
it.
Okay.
sure.
Okay, who is currently sharing? Is it you, Dominique?
Nobody.
Okay, there was somebody I couldn't get.
I
in.
was, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so when you, if you have any questions about how to use any type of, if there's always a help thing in the upper right. So I just typed in instructor email client, and then I clicked on client, contacting a group of clients. And so it will tell you how you can do that. It tells you things like you can do a maximum of 5,000, but there's a really important note, unfortunately, it's at the bottom. Clients must have the subscribe to news and updates of your business option enabled to receive custom email template messages. This includes email messages sent using the quick contact option. So there's a number of things here. So you can contact it through the client list, through a report, or from an attendance list. So it seems like it can definitely be done. And that's why
So-
an import of a subset of clients would be really helpful so that we can actually see meaningful reports.
Can you go to just the contact a group of clients from the client list?
App drawer button, app drawer, click clients on the clients page, filter or search for the group of clients you want to contact. It doesn't say if you can do it as an instructor, but I think we get to set that rule, right? Click on the advanced filter button so that you can get clients that meet a certain criteria.
But if we select on, so all clients essentially.
On the clients page, filter or search. And if you don't want to, then it's all clients.
Yeah.
In the first column, select the checkbox next to client to select all clients listed. So I think you're just not seeing it because there are no clients.
No, guys, this is something we did in the training already. This is from the attendance list. Remember, we know how to do this.
Oh, okay.
What we want is for the instructors to actually have access to the email addresses of the clients and to be able to use that as they will. So sending an email, a message, an SMS,
Yeah.
we know how to do that from the attendance list.
Right.
What we need is how, because we have permission to see everything. We do as staff.
Right.
The
so then-
instructors don't.
right.
And the question is, how do we open only that
Sure.
door?
You would just go to whatever staff dashboard or ED dashboard. You would find like settings, permissions, security, whatever.
Can
And,
Helena share her thing again real quick, because I want to see her as the instructor.
I stopped sharing.
I'm trying to log in as that test account, because in the test account we have already classes with clients in it. We have a populated class, so I'm trying to
You-
do that, but
You could actually log in as one of the instructors who already created their profile.
I don't have their password.
Yeah, because we asked them all to change their password.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they all did, but
Okay. Okay, so here, for example, can you see Wellness Living, everyone?
yes.
Let's see a test class. Oh, this has nobody booked. This one.
Okay. Now instead, I think go to our reports.
Okay.
And then under the client one,
So I don't have a client
um,
as an instructor. I don't have client. And I think that's because we didn't open that
Mm,
restriction.
Right,
That's still
right.
restricted.
that makes sense. So you would go
Right.
to whatever permissions area that you
But-
grant to
But it's
instructor.
not under
and
attendance.
then what
it's not
about your
under-
attendance list?
Yeah, what about that
So
attendance?
again, here in the attendance list, see, I don't see their email address. I
But-
know that we closed this up. Yes,
If you
I'm sorry.
if you press the email, what appears then?
I would be able, see, so I click here.
Yeah.
And then it's not
Oh,
live yet.
right,
So
right.
much. So they can do this through here. That's not an issue. I think
We're
that
not sure if their emails actually show up is the only thing.
the instructors want to see the emails. And I know that if we change to our staff view, we would see the email right underneath the client's name on this view, right here on the same page, attendance sheet, we would be able to see.
I think-
Instructors
What
aren't.
is that thing near the cart? See the little grocery cart under Zoom 2? There's a
Oh,
little paper-
these are
what is that?
notes. These are just notes. So I can write a note about somebody. See, client will need to skip one class. These are just notes that everybody can add.
Yeah, I would say that permissions can be granted to the instructor to do that. It would
I'm sure that it can, Cindy. I think the question that we have to ask him is because previously we noticed that sometimes when you allow for one thing to be done, then you have to allow a lot of other things, and we kind of want to restrict.
That's a great question
So-
for him. So
And
how
I'm
can
pretty sure it's an easy
I think
fix
I know
too.
what you're saying though too, and because these are the clients here, I do see their emails on my end.
Right.
but I think what Helena's saying, she's now logged in as a test instructor.
Yeah,
What does add to client group mean? What does this mean to add to client group?
you can create different groups.
So for example, if I'm an instructor, Sophia, and let's say that I teach, I don't know, childbirth prep classes, and I want to create a group for me only to have all my childbirth prep clients in one group. So maybe I want to send a note afterwards or.
Oh, so
something
you
like that.
can't send. So they can send.
They can, they can't do it through the platform, meaning they can't, they don't have access to your email address. So they don't know that your email address is sophia@blossombirthandfamily.org.
They need to know the email. If they can send through the platform, isn't that main thing? If they could just send something
So-
through the platform.
Right. So we could look, their question had two parts. I think the beginning of the question is, can I send PDFs, PowerPoint presentations, materials instead of just text to the
Mhm.
clients? And this is one question that we can ask that would probably solve the problem, right? Because that's what they want to do. And so the second part to that question was, if we're not able to do that through the platform, through Wellness Living, could we have access to the actual email addresses so that we can do it from our Gmail account, for example?
Wait, but you just said they can send from the email, right? They can click email, right?
But they can send a text email. I don't know if they can load attachments to it, which is what they want to do.
Oh, but this is what we haven't tested, if they can add attachments.
We
There is-
don't, yeah.
There is a workaround, by the way. If there is, first of all, we have to test if you can add attachment, but if you can't, there are tons of workarounds that I found. If they do a box link that's within the text, they click on it, and then yeah, they have access to the document. All they have to do is some kind of Dropbox link, a link on a server, like any kind of link that goes to wherever they're housing this document. So it doesn't have to be an attachment. It can be a link that goes, Dropbox is just the first example I used, but you can even on our website, we can link to documents,
Yep. That's a good idea, Sophia, if we can't.
If we don't want to grant them that many permissions, then we'd have to say something like, please have a Dropbox, or if you want, they can, what we could do, we can create like a whole, that might be a lot of work. We can create a file housing on our website where, okay, this is Lori Ishmael's like files, and we house it on the website. And then they link in the email, the link goes to our website where they can download the PDF, sort of like we do on Weebly, you know?
Yeah, we could. I mean, it's just, I think, a matter of asking Sheldon, could they
Yeah.
send attachments, because we can't test that functionality right now because the emails are not working since we're not
Yeah.
live. So
Yeah.
ask him that. If he says yes, great, then we can test it. If he says
Yeah.
no, then it's a question, internal question, as to do we want to share emails or not? And if we don't, for a reason or another, then we can go work around.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I think now I have a big list of front desk things that I need to go and try to do myself before I
Okay.
present you with any questions.
Okay.
All the classes are there. Sophia, if you want to now have a view, a beautiful view from, it's so pretty, colorful, clear. Everything is color coded, so it works perfectly.
it.
I can't
I
say
know,
how
you
much
really
I love
would
this.
love
I just have to log into Wellness Living, right?
I'm sorry?
If I log into Wellness Living.
You will see. So all the classes are there. I created filters, which is very helpful since I have both support groups and events, workshops, whatever we're going to call them. I have both. So now I have 2 different filters where I can see only my classes and only my events. It's easier for me to understand. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I hope that you're excited.
Oh, I'm very
Cindy
excited.
and Sophia, because me and Dominique and Carolina, we've had our ups and downs, but whenever we figure out that our lives can be much easier, and it's
yeah, no,
exciting, you know.
I actually wanted to buy a thing, but I
You
didn't
wanted to buy
it.
a thing.
I wanted to buy. I actually want to buy a Back to You fitness class just to see how nice it is,
Yeah.
like the process. I mean, it'll just make front desk job so much easier. And as you were mentioning regarding instructors being able to email their clients, I mean, it just puts it takes a lot off of front desk if instructors are able to do certain things.
Oh, and on
Right?
that note, Cindy, and for Sophia, this is something that both of you feel strongly about, and so do I. The reviews are going to be automatic now. So
Great.
Wellness
Awesome.
Living already has that in there. So once the class is finished,
Yeah,
they
that's
will
amazing.
send. And I've
You
been
know-
sending out to Sophia manually, but I haven't forgotten that. That's very important for me
Okay,
as well.
I just
to
think of
understand.
like the smaller stuff, like if a seemingly insignificant but very important for you as front desk, like if an instructor is running late or they can't, they can send a text or send an email to their clients so that
Right.
Yeah, and they will have that access. There's an entire app specifically for the instructors. So while we have our Blossom app, the instructors have what's called Elevate, which is the same thing, but at the staff view, which I believe you guys will also be able to.
I have it. It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's so impressive, the power of the system. And it just looks so much nicer. I mean, if I can figure out how to buy a class, then I've already won. Like I'm one step away from clicking yes, I want to buy this class. Although I put breastfeeding basics in my cart, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just it's really, really nice. So thank you for all.
Think
the work
about
that
the
you've done.
park, Cindy. The mamas with their phones, just
Yeah, I
check
know.
in, pay. Oh.
And we didn't, have time today, and I do have to. It's 5 minutes to the end anyway. I didn't have time to ask about a couple of other things. I don't remember if I've documented them yet or not, but the whole 8 class pass, the monthly unlimited, those things, where to buy those. I went to store, but I didn't exactly see that. In store, for example, if you can click store, or I could.
You want me to?
Yeah, if you don't mind
let you
just going out,
share.
and if you log in, that's the client view, and you click store, or I can do it. Yeah, right. Okay, where am I? Oh, Cindy Chow. Switch to client view.
I know what you mean.
Like in store view, that's just where I get a little confused, because there's no evident way to organize or categorize there like you can when you're in schedule. Okay, did I switch? Is anything happening? Why is this not switching? Still in staff dashboard.
So I think when they
Back in mode.
purchase a
Yeah, so if I want to purchase a
When they go to the
pass,
book now,
book now,
uh,
I would like a way to be able to buy a pass.
yes. So when you go into the book now, it gives
Yeah.
you the option of what you want to
Oh,
purchase.
book now.
One-time visit,
So
8 pass,
I'm in book now. This is book now.
but click on book now.
I did.
No. Click on the green.
Yeah, this I did. I trust me, I did.
No. On the
Oh.
right, next
On
to
the
class
right book
symbol,
now. Oh, okay.
click-
Gotcha. Not the top book now, but the right book now. Okay.
You don't have it, and I that may be I have it. So let me just show which. Oh, there it
I
goes.
do.
What?
One-time visit, yoga 8-pack. Interesting. Cool.
Okay.
I
And we
can buy
have to
both.
figure out all the other ones too.
Apparently, I can buy
Right.
both. Well, maybe I can't, but so far it looks like I can buy both.
Can you try?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, I can buy both. Which I would imagine is configurable on our end. I would imagine that we would be able to
Probably we can
force one or the other, but maybe the logic is I don't want to restrict them, right?
Yeah.
Confusing. So then so here's what I want to do. Like I want to be a client and I want to pay for a class. I want to book it, and then I want to try to cancel it, and I want to try to for this one like I want to register in advance. So if I buy a one-time drop-in visit, like can I still do that, or do I have to pick the date for the drop-in? Right? Or if I buy a class pass, great, I
What
bought
happened
it.
when you went to store? I didn't see
Uh,
it.
So in store, it's just like a bunch of icons that
Yeah.
I can't. I'm
I'm
clicking,
still,
but nothing's
I'm
happening.
still confused. We have purchase options. We have products, classes. There.
Yeah. So here we are. Here we have online store category,
Right.
and it looks like a bunch of classes. But maybe I'll try pass. Yeah, I can't just buy a pass, which is what again, what people are used to doing, and we can change how they work with the system. We just need to know, right? Like, am I
Right.
writing an FAQ or am I not writing an FAQ?
Right.
And what would be really lovely here would be that categorization, right? So classes, childbirth prep, blah, 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 so
Yeah.
that you don't have to remember. Because if you're a new client, you don't know what you're signing up for, right? Like,
That's true.
And
I
all the
still think
passes
we
are
have some
called.
store configuration that we have to do.
oh, look, birth rental came up. Oh, I can add it to my cart.
And we don't know if that's the best one yet, right? Because
Right.
there's no management of the
So
rental.
what's really cool is that a lot of things work, right? Like filtering on text works. And so theoretically, it'd be much easier for me to find the thing that I was looking for if I knew what I was looking for, right? So it's only in the cases of you're a new client, or even if you're not, you didn't know, for example, there's a childbirth prep refresher class, or breastfeeding. I think I did breastfeeding earlier, and then the 2 classes came up. But this is not. I thought when we talked with him, and I'll add this to the document. I thought when we talked with him, there was a way where we could create like categories, so that when we click on yoga,
And I just saw
Then-
this here. I don't think our store has really fully been configured
No.
yet.
so then
Well,
maybe we just say we're not using the store clients for now.
I think
right?
that the store, what happens is that every event that we create automatically goes into the store. And
Right.
I personally have not played around with the store at all. I
Right.
haven't done any. The only thing that I started and have not even don't have anything to say is the rental that I tried uploading, I think the 10s, and I got stuck in the pictures. It's just so you have an idea how
Right.
much I did not move with
Well,
that.
look, there
So.
you go. You do have it. 10s unit rental. Well,
Right, but see that I think Dominique added that one. Was it you, Dominique?
Yeah, I think I may have done.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
tried to and I had an
And this
issue
is just the
with it.
payment. It's not the booking for it. In any
And
case,
not only that, so
Yeah.
the booking exactly. So that's the thing with the
Yeah,
rentals.
and
We
that's
have
where
the
I was
booking.
going back and forth because I was like, oh, I could add it to the store, but then
right. And so before I get too far down this path of tens and other rentals, like as a business itself, like the amount of money we make off of tens, whether it's worth investing in making sure that that booking can even be done through this, especially during, shelter in place. Do we temporarily suspend I'm just throwing it out there as different ways to buy us time and to allow us to think about what the priorities are for the new year when we're going live with the new system. So my personal 2 cents would be any of our retail or any of our 10 stuff, aside from wanting to like get rid of the retail, which I get. I don't know that it's worth the investment of time into making those available through wellness living, instead of other options. So just leave them on our shelf, return them to the vendor. I don't know, but anyway, I've been
hear
really
you.
happy with what I've seen. I've got to go. I think all of us probably have to go. It's very exciting when you're actually seeing things, and it's amazing, I think, how much you've all done, considering none of you have like a programming background. You don't have a tech background. This is really something that should be like applauded. So well done. And yeah, I think the idea of us just deciding when we do want to go with this, once we get more information from Sheldon, will be really good. Coming up with a more of a slower rollout that still, honors our need to make our processes a lot easier for our clients and for Helena and Dominique and front desk. So thank you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah. And Elena, I want to make sure that I wasn't sure you were in the room where, that piece was talked about where, of course, everybody's very empathetic to, oh my gosh, all this manual stuff with the entering in clients, partial launch. I mean, all things are on the table with all the project leaders, which I'm not a project leader, but whatever we can do to try and make your life easier, that's a big priority. So I want to make sure you left the meeting like knowing that was really important to the group.
Yeah, it's just such a difficult decision because
Yeah.
we are faced with a lot of
Just
things
the
to do
trade-off.
in a very short time, but at the same time the manual part makes us honestly, for me, the problem that I feel is that I make mistakes, and it's horrible. It's horrible because these are people we're dealing with every day, and it's not just once. It happens. I told Dominique the first time I forgot Amy, I swear, I only remembered it the day after. And that I don't have a recollection of ever forgetting something that hard that I only remembered the day after, and something so simple, but it's been a long time that we've been doing this, right? About 6 months now. The world is different. So we have a new system that is more congruent to what we're living and the business that we're doing. And yes, we need time to get everything and I'm with you on the perfect, because that's never going to happen. So we can't shoot for that. I'm with you on the fact that we can't allow more stress into the staff. We can't allow this to be bigger than life, to take everything that we have, because sometimes work feels that way. And Blossom is going through a lot right now. So I hear you on it's okay to breathe a little more, and if we need to step on the brakes, we will. At the same time, I'm like, oh my God, if I could switch tomorrow, so some of these things would be past me. So we're gonna work. I think
I think that's where the phased rollout, like when I say we're going live, like we're gonna go live. I think that's what everybody needs to know. Like we really need to go live in January. There's no reason for us to be sticking on to Yoga Reg. But that doesn't mean that Yoga Reg is going to completely disappear. And also, it doesn't mean that 100% of the functionality of what Wellness Living has that we'll be using. The main things that we need to get going are classes and groups and registering for events. Those are the things. The other stuff, like that will come, and it's not super important right now. Like if we don't get the TENS machine figured out immediately, that's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. If we don't get, private sessions figured out right now, that doesn't matter. So I think we just have to compartmentalize the things that are important to move forward on, and know that the other things will come, and it will not be perfect, but they will come in their time. Like the
Mhm.
website will not be perfect. We will have to get it to a very basic functioning area and continue to support people. And that's why, I'm
Mhm.
continuing in the transition through the end of January so that we can make this change and I can support getting that started. It's going to continue even after I'm gone, but we got to get
Mhm.
to the place where we can go and then make some additional changes. And I do not wish to put any additional stress onto you guys as a staff. I'm going to move, and I know that we said take a break off, but I will probably be working the entire time that we're off,
Mhm.
aside from
Mhm.
actual holidays. So
Mhm.
I want this to go just as well for everybody because I know how much our current system stresses us out. So
Yeah.
I really feel wellness living will bring us to the other side, will keep us from being as stressed. It will maybe cause a little bit of temporary pain, but once it's really like humming, it will like things will just work and not be difficult the way it is. I mean, even with Yoga Reg set up, we constantly have issues with Yoga Reg. So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
just want to mention that I think it's very important for the whole team to be present in these meetings. I think, Sophia, what you brought up about the website open and me, I started to think about the many details that we have to work with and the many things that for one area can be completely missed, and how important
Mhm.
it is for all of us to look at it and see from our position in the organization the things that we need, and to be able to talk about it and say, hey, but that could be a problem for me. And honestly, it was very, very interesting what happened, because you brought up something that I don't know how it escaped me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just that we have so much to think about that it's really helpful that everybody comes together with questions, with really going into details. Could we do this? And when I wrote to Cindy this weekend, she asked me a little bit about the trainings. I told her I would go further and think about the things that we were not able to do in Yoga Reg that we would like to do with Wellness Living, so that we can ask, and perhaps there are ways of doing even the things that we already think we couldn't, or we haven't used for, that we could possibly use. So I think it's, again, my main point is we are only 5. And Amy, thank you for being here, and all the other members who join us as well, because you all count very much. And it's very important that we all come together for this, because many moving pieces, many details that the more eyes we have for details, the better. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right. On that note, Dom, if it's okay with everybody, I would like to skip business ops this afternoon. I really want to,
I have this.
focus on this as much as possible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
we can shift focus. That's totally
Is that
fine.
okay? Just considering everything, I think we made progress in the 2-3 past weeks that we had business ops. If you would still like to hold it with the rest of the team, then I'll watch the recording. I really need a big chunk of time.
No, I
Right.
What happens is that I decide that I'm going to spend a big chunk on time only doing one thing, Wellness Living, and then other things get in the middle, especially front desk things that I need to
How'd it go?
deal with right now. So if it's okay with all of you, I will take the afternoon to just dive into Wellness Living, and I'm available, text, everything else. I just don't want to be in a meeting in this afternoon. And tomorrow I'll be at the park. So
I understand.
and we don't have any rain or anything. So yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And then Sophia, also, are we all going to add to that one document, just so I'm clear, because I have a bunch of stuff in different documents too. The questions for Wellness Living, we
Right.
have only one document now. Should we all add our questions to that one? Should we
Yeah.
create sections?
Mhm.
I got two documents. Is it the one?
I think Cindy's gonna consolidate, so let Cindy consolidate, and then you can add it once she
Yeah.
it's just a single file.
Yeah, she was adding to the one that literally the link to Amy's notes that was in the chat. We said that'll be the master because that has the questions from Dominique in it for Sheldon directly. So
Okay.
Okay, I think I.
Okay, thank you,
yeah.
everyone.
All right.
bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, everybody.
Are you feeling better? I didn't get the beginning. Okay,
I
good.
am. Yes. Last week I was just like, I think I really had like a cold. So I'm feeling better. Yes.
Good to hear that. All right. I'll talk to you later then, Tom.
right.
Thank you. Bye.